Hi, I'm Paul from pdhsports.com, leading online racket specialist, and today I'm at Derby University and we are going to do some filming with our Ashaway Badminton Racket. So I'm joined here today by Sophie, who's our sort of resident badminton expert. She's a Yonex sponsored player, but she's here to give her opinion and thoughts on the range that we stock. So first of all, just a little bit about Ashaway. We've had a very strong relationship with Ashaway over the years, primarily selling sort of their squash strings and badminton strings. We now do a large collection of squash rackets that are very successful. We've just introduced racquetball, and we're building our collection of Ashaway. So Ashaway already has sort of a strong following.
Yeah, so this is the Ashway Superlight 99. So it's part of the Superlight series, which kind of like tells you enough about it. They're all kind of 70 to 80 grams, so really lightweight. Medium flex, so it's kind of like an easy to use racket. And yeah, it's quite interesting because not very many rackets are this light, so it'd be good to see how it feels compared to some of the heavier ones.
So the retail price of that is, I think it's £80. Yep. Okay, so right, so then also today we've got the Phantom range of rackets. So we've got two rackets in the range. If you just explain a little bit about these two.
Yeah, so the Phantom range, the whole kind of area around them is that they're thinner at the top, which means they're more aerodynamic, so a bit faster swing speed. They're both head heavy, but the difference is that the X Shadow is slightly more flexible, so it kind of gives you that little bit more width behind it than perhaps the Helix. But yeah, they're interesting to see, and top of the range rackets. So
it'll be interesting to see how I get on and if I notice the difference. So some of you who've been watching the channel know that I'm my favoured sport is squash, but Sophie's really sort of getting me more and more into badminton, and we've just started doing some reviews, so it'll be really interesting for me as a average badminton player trying to sort of see the differences between the rackets. And then finally, which so far for us has been the highlight racket, our best-selling one. If you explain the Viper XT.
Yeah, so they've got the Viper weave in them that makes it a bit stronger. Also head heavy and kind of 85 grams, so it kind of sits like just above some of the others. But it's, yeah, with it being our best seller, it'll be interesting to see what everyone loves about it so far and if we think the same.
So one thing that's quite a good selling point and sort of really sets Ashaway apart is the strings. So can you just tell us a little bit about the strings that these rackets come with?
So they come in Ashaway's top string. They come in the Zymex 69 Fire, which I've had a test of myself, and it's really nice. It kind of keeps the tension really well. It's quite durable as well, which is something that's quite important to me.
Excellent. So yeah, so we're now going to take these rackets on the court, and yeah, we'll start with it. Let's start with the Superlight, and yeah, we'll put a little review together of these 4 frames. Right, so we're just back from hitting with the Superlight 99SQ. Now, for me, not being the expert, I mean, the one thing that I really love about this racket is how easy it is to use. I said to you when we first started, like, I know it's light, and as we go on to the other ones, I might find to get a bit more power, but I just find, as an average player, this for me felt lovely. It was really easy to use. Very manoeuvrable.
Yeah, I was kind of quite surprised by how much I like it, because I've generally played with a heavier racket, but yeah, you can get so much speed with it without kind of losing the power, because you can swing it so fast because it's so light, and you're really getting a high modulus graphite racket, so really good quality for kind of a good price, and you know, perfect for kind of juniors as they're moving up to full size. You know, your club players who want, you know, getting a bit older, might want a bit more movement from the racket. Is perfect for that, I think.
And one of the key things again for me, which I sort of touched upon earlier, is, I mean, this is factory strung, so we've not touched it, and it's come with the sort of better string, and you know, it feels, for me, there's a lot of feel with this string. Would you say?
Yeah, it's a nice string, and obviously because it's factory, it is a little bit looser, which means you get the power out of it as well, which, you know, it complements the racket.
Excellent. Right, so let's move on to, let's go for the Phantom rackets next, shall we? This is a sort of more serious player's racket. I found it straight away from coming off the back of using the Superlight. I could feel the extra weight, a little bit more stiffness. I mean, I liked it. I think the Superlight is an easier racket for me to use because I can just pick it up and go. But I could definitely tell if I was playing at a higher level or more often, then the extra, there was a little bit extra performance, wasn't there, in this one?
Yeah, so with it being that little bit more head heavy, you do really get that power, and I found that on the smashers it was really good to like whip through. With it being stiff, it was nice and fast. It's got this cosmetic weave which no other racket has, which I think looks really good, and there's no like performance defects in it. It's just as strong as any other racket, and with it being like thinner at the top means you still get that head speed as well. You don't lack it with it being head heavy.
So one thing we talked about obviously this comes pre-strung at factory, but maybe for a lower level league player like myself, well, not necessarily league, but lower level player, dropping the tension down would be an option as well, wouldn't it, to give me a little bit more forgiveness and power?
Yes, yeah. For me, the tension in that was right. It was nice mixture between power and control. So
what sort of tension would you say these are coming strong at?
They're probably like 25, somewhere around there. So yeah, kind of average what most people go for these days.
Right, so we've just hit with the Phantom Helix, and we're going to go now and try the Phantom X Shadow. So we're just back now, having hit with the Phantom X Shadow. So this is Ashaway's sort of flagship, top of the range one. First of all, my first thoughts are, you could definitely tell this is probably their premium racket. It had a lovely feel for it. Again, a little bit, wasn't too, I didn't think it was too stiff for my level. I'm hitting the shuttle reasonably well, and I guess if I was going to go for this, I do notice the extra quality that's in this racket, but maybe you could sort of give us again a little bit more technical thoughts behind this one.
Yeah, I think this one compared to the Phantom Helix, with this one being a little bit more flexible, you can definitely feel that, and although it's like top of the range, I'd say this is probably more of like for everyone, you know, your club players, your higher level players. It's really good performance racket. Which
would maybe explain why I liked it.
Yeah, and it's really nice to use, and great quality with the 40-ton carbon graphite makes it a really high quality racket.
The last one that we're going to review today, which is the Viper XT 1600. Let's take that one on court and see how that one plays. That was the final part of our review. So we've just hit with the Viper XT. Now I left this one till last because so far this has been our most popular, and hopefully the viewers at home are finding this useful, because obviously we've got the expert, which is you, Sophie, and then you've got myself, who, I'm not hitting a bad shuttle, but I'm finding these very interesting because you can really, you can really tell the difference in a lot of these rackets, and obviously price points do make a difference. But this one, I guess what I found with this one, with it having a little bit more sort of head weight in the head and stuff like that, it was great for smashing. I was actually, so I think I did beat you on one of them where I got that extra bit of power. So that's where I got the most fun out of that. But I mean, again, I don't know if you want to just give your thoughts on this racket and where it would fit in.
Yeah, so I think for the price you pay for this racket, you're getting a high quality stringing, which would cost you £20 for the restring, and you're getting it in the racket anyway. It's head heavy, it's got a nice kind of flex to it, it's a really nice all-round racket, and I can see why. The Phantoms you get brilliant control with, but as a club player I think this one's great. It's really good for the price point.
Just quickly to finish off, what I found was probably the Phantoms had the nicest feel, most power, but also I had a lot of fun with that one because it's so manoeuvrable and so light. So I think we've selected quite a good range here of rackets to start off with. They all sort of have a different place.
Yeah, I think there's something for everyone really. You've got your club players covered, you've got your juniors, you've got your advanced players. You know, there's something for everyone in this range.
Yeah, excellent. Right, so there you have it. So hopefully, I say you've found this useful. You know, any questions, leave any comments down below. This is sort of our sort of first dip into the market with the Ashaway Badminton Rackets, but like I say, we've already got a very strong link with Ashaway on all the strings and squash and racquetball, yeah, we're looking to grow our range as we sort of move on. But yeah, so thanks a lot for watching. Thanks Sophie for here. Thanks Derby University again for letting us use the facilities. And yeah, check out, we're going to have some more content. We'll link down below anything else that's coming up soon. Thank you.